Oh my God, dude, they buried you. Dude, they disrespected you. They put you in a corner. Just so we can set the record straight, let's talk about the story of how I really ended up on commentary. Hey everybody, it's Matt, the Drama King. Thank you so much for coming back for another video. And if you like what you see and hear, please, as usual, like, subscribe, hit those alerts, and you will know anytime a video goes live. And if you have any questions you want to ask me, hop on into the Twitch chat. I am on there 3 to 4 days a week hanging out with everything. So be there and let's hang. Before we jump into how I got on commentary, I want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, which is Advanced GG. Advanced GG makes the best gaming supplements around, scientifically researched ingredients, full transparency, and the best tasting stuff on the market, in my opinion. They have focus, chill, and energy supplements all available to you right now. And if you use the code DKMAT, you'll save yourself a little money at checkout. So how this all came about is a lot more nuanced than I think a lot of people think. I think a lot of fans think that I just got booted to the side, that it was a punishment or a demotion or something that for me to end up on the 205 Live commentary team. Let me nip that one in the bud. Let's look back at what was happening at that time, right? So we're talking about December of 2018. We are coming right off of possibly the worst storyline finish ever with Rusev Day, which we were riding high off a very successful run, and they really kind of tossed that to the side and didn't follow through on it. Between the two of us, Rusev and me, and I don't think I'm blowing any minds here, Rusev is the bigger star. And even with him, they didn't have any direction, so he kind of struggled for a while. So for me, I was lucky to get booked on a couple of shows after that because they clearly didn't have any plans for us coming out of that whole Rusev Day thing. So during this time, I'm just wanting to get booked on house shows or do something here or there. And during that time, Tom Phillips, who manages the announce team, came to me and said, he's always been a friend, came to me and said, look, I think you'd be good at this. Why don't you come down to the Performance Center? We'll record a little something and we'll see if it's a fit. And you could try it maybe. Add a little feather to your cap. And at this point, like I said, I wanted something to do. There's nothing like going to the airport each week, to go to television, to know that you're going to sit in catering and do nothing. It's demoralizing. I used to love going to the airport for live events, for a full loop of shows, to wrestle, to do all this stuff. I didn't mind the travel. I got excited by it. But to go every single week, to know you were going to do nothing, to know you were going to pitch something to creative that was going to get sure, and then not hear anything. It sucked. You didn't feel useful. I like being used. I want to be a part of the show and contribute. So I went down to Florida. I went into the booth with Tom and Byron Saxton. We called a couple of main event matches and had a good time. And honestly, I said my goodbyes and I thought that would be it. Maybe we'll try it again in 6 months' time. Well, lo and behold, I end up getting called into the gorilla position at SmackDown the next week by Michael Cole, and he comes to me and says, hey, I heard you had a great session with Tom. Things went well. So if you want, we're going to have you on 205 Live doing commentary every week between now and WrestleMania. And this was in January. And I was like, I did 45 minutes in the booth and you want to throw me on live television? I know it's the network and stuff like that, but you want to do that? And he's like, yeah, we can see if it's a fit. You can still wrestle if they need you to wrestle on SmackDown or whatever and do your house shows, which I wasn't getting booked on anyway. But then he goes, then after SmackDown, you'll just join us on commentary. I was like, okay. So the next week I joined Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness for 205 Live, and those guys are awesome. And then literally the week after I joined was the Royal Rumble, so I joined that for the Cruiserweight Championship match on the kickoff, so I got to be part of the Rumble broadcast team, and from there, just continued. And then at WrestleMania time, we checked in and he asked if I wanted to continue. And at that point, again, I had tried to talk to creative. Nothing was bouncing back to me. So I said, you know what? I'm going to expand my horizons. I'm going to expand my resume. I'm going to add that feather to my cap. And now I'm going to be a young, talented, in-shape performer in the ring. But now I'm going to add this to my repertoire. Figuring that was a good idea. And I think it was a good idea because I had ended up making great relationships with Vic Joseph, Nigel McGuinness, Tom Phillips, Michael Cole, Renee Young, John Quasto, amongst many, many others. It's a great team, and I learned so much working with those guys. I got to be part of the NXT UK broadcast team a few times, so I got really close exposure to that brand and the creative team behind that brand as well. And it was so cool to see that and see how that grew. And then to see the 205 Live roster, a group of guys who I think were criminally underrated and have a chance for an in-ring competitor to be able to tell their stories, to be able to enhance their talent from someone who was recently on the roster. Absolutely, that was an incredible honor. And I enjoyed my time. There was no gun to my head. There was no talk in a room, you are going to do this. There was no demotion. There was no boot. There was no kick to the side. This was offered to me by a friend of mine on the team, and I said yes. And yeah, if I stayed a wrestler, would I still be with the WWE today? Possibly. But I am a big believer in saying yes to the opportunities that are in front of you, not fighting against those when there's a door that's open. And I had a great time, and I learned great skills. Just to clear the air of anybody who thinks I got shafted or whatever by the WWE team. In that regard, they did not. They gave me an opportunity, and I appreciated every bit of it.